Yes, it has been dubbed the grand reception for Baba. NASA leaders insist they will defy police orders and lead supporters to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport this morning to welcome home opposition chief Raila Odinga, who has been away for the past 2 weeks. Organizers say Odinga and his deputy in NASA, Kalonzo Musyoka, will be received at the JKIA at 10 a.m, from where they will begin a procession along Mombasa Road before concluding with a rally at Uhuru Park. National Police Service spokesman George Kinoti on Wednesday warned that the NASA plan for Odinga's grand reception will compromise airport security. Kinoti said the march by NASA supporters would not only be a security risk, but the organizers would also be non-compliant with the Public Order Act of 2016. Another tweet from the police service's official Twitter account further outlawed the planned rally at Uhuru Park, saying it had the potential to interfere with ongoing national exams. It means police could try to stop today's plans by NASA. How exactly they can do that remains to be seen. A police plan to stop a NASA rally yesterday was unsuccessful as the leaders went on to address a crowd in Kibera despite police arresting some of the leaders. Is this the best way that police could have handled these planned events? It's not the first time NASA or any other party is receiving their leader. Why stop them now? Would arresting NASA leaders create unnecessary tension? Good morning. Welcome to Citizen Extra. My name is Freddie Ndemuli, showing you live pictures from the JKIA this morning as we expect supporters of NASA to be heading there ahead of the grand reception for Raila Odinga later this morning. We'll be joining our reporter there, Stephen Leto, who's already there with an update. Elsewhere, the Kenyatta University has been indefinitely closed this morning by the University Senate. This is after the students went on rampage last night and burnt down the administration block of that school. All students have been ordered to vacate the school as at 9 a.m. this morning. It's already 9:15. Yes, they should have vacated the school by now. Quite a number of activities happening there. Yes, they burnt down the school's old administration block, which houses the finance department. They also have a raft of demands. The students saying that they've gone on strike because of increased fee for supplementary exams, increased fees generally, crowding in classes, as well as an ongoing lecturer strike. This morning in studio, we do have Joseph Simeha, NASA strategist. Karibu sana. Next to Bwana Simeha, we have Nelson Harvey, an advocate of the High Court, and also a NASA lawyer, if I may say that.
Thank you.
Senator Irungu Kangata from Murang'a County, also an advocate of the High Court, and another human rights activist and attorney, former acting chief registrar of the judiciary, Kakai Kissinger, on the panel this morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Karibuni sana. Quite a number of events this morning. Of course, the big one at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, the grand reception for Raila Odinga. I'm made to understand that Raila Odinga's deputy in NASA, Kalonzo Musyoka, may not be traveling together with Raila Odinga. I just need a confirmation from Bwana Simeha. What's happening? What are we expecting this morning?
Their travel arrangements are not part of the strategy, I guess.
It could be a strategy as well for them to land together.
No, not that I know of, actually. You know, what I really personally know of is the arrival of Raila Odinga. But yeah, that's the much I can tell you, okay. Not that I know of, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you can confirm that you will defy that police order, because police have been outright. They said you will not be allowed into the airport. That rally at Uhuru Park will not be allowed, but you say you will go ahead.
We don't even need to waste our mental energies thinking about police who act like they have holes in their heads. What orders? I mean, when they are issuing illegal orders, those orders are as good as non-existent. Mm-hmm. So we don't even need, as you've seen, I'm sure you've seen even yesterday, including yesterday, they may engage us in some drama, yes, but for as long as we know that we are lawful citizens engaged in lawful activity in this country, mm-hmm. Now increasingly we are choosing not even to bother listening to the police, because yes. We don't want to engage and be at their level like people who really don't have what they need to have between their ears. But
I also have yesterday had a very busy day trying to defend and get some of those NASA leaders freed from the Kilimani police station after they were picked up along Ngong Road. That could happen today again. Are you ready for more work, trying to get them released?
Well, if there is anything that is in uttermost abundance within the NASA fraternity, is the tyranny of legal minds. Mm-hmm. And look, initially when the story came out that Honorable Kajwang and Honorable Baba Wino together with Honorable Bogo had been arrested, we thought it was a more serious offense. Just to realize that, look, the guys were just trying to catch up with time and ride a motorbike to ensure that they're in Kibera in good time. And I think we must understand one thing. The administration must allow people to enjoy the full benefits of the Constitution. And if you were to ask where this order that the police keep on saying that they have given in respect of the gathering at the airport, where this order they have given in respect of the gathering at Uhuru Park, we do not require any permission whatsoever from the administration to have these gatherings. They keep on harping on the public order, an act that has become obsolete, an act that cannot be used in the current dispensation. And I think the more the Jubilee administration thinks it can infringe on the rights of the people, the more it emboldens the people to take what is rightfully due to them, in fact, within the confines of the Constitution. And if you have to look at it thoroughly, you cannot pinpoint for a fact what transgression of the law has been committed. Yesterday night we heard that they were looking for James Orengo and Senator Johnston Bodham. How can you be looking for James Orengo? That is turning logic over its head. On what basis will they be able to arrest and charge James Orengo?
Senator, you're a Jubilee senator, yes, but you're also an advocate of the High Court. You understand what it means. You've read the Constitution. The right to assemble is enshrined in the Constitution. Do the police have any grounds to actually bar NASA supporters from congregating anywhere, whether at Uhuru Park or at the airport?
Yes, indeed. We have what we call protected areas in this country, and the airport is one of the protected areas, and for several reasons, including the need to protect our country against terrorism, and some actions can compromise the government's efforts to secure key installations, including the airport. So, you see, when you look at the so-called rights which are provided for in the Constitution, they are not blank checks. They are not a tabula rasa. They are not things which one gets 100%. Article, I think, 24 and 23 of the Constitution has what we call a mechanism of accepting those human rights position. For instance, you have the right to move, but surely we also have a statute that provides for law against trespass. You may have the right to own property, but then again, if you have no money, you can't own property. So all the rights that are provided for in the Constitution, they do have exceptions.
And I'll come back to you because, yes, this is not the first time that we're seeing crowds going into the airport to welcome one leader or the other. We've seen previously Raila Odinga. This is not the first time he's been welcomed. You remember when we had this hashtag on Twitter, Baba, while you were away. It is one of those times.
Do you know the difference why?
Yeah, but and we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that because it's a whole discussion on its own. We have an instance where President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was coming back from The Hague, he was also welcomed by a crowd from right outside the VIP lounge at the airport and even got a chance to address them. We have that video, by the way. But Kissinger, do you think the police are going about it the right way, trying to block NASA supporters from doing anything today?
Yeah, one of the things we have to understand is that airports around the world, and Kenya included, are high security places. High security places in the sense that it is the gateway of our country. And as much as now you want to have 1 million people marching there, then you have to ask yourself, you can imagine the crowd controls that must take place by the police and what the police will have to do to enable it, control the crowd that will be coming to the airport. So I think for the safety of the airports, which is of course well known and is legal, is you try as much as you can to control crowds that go to the airport because of the issues of safety. Now, when you look at the challenges the police are going to be faced with is how do you control 1 million people marching to the airport? If you go by what happened yesterday evening on the Southern Bypass, then you will be in a very big problem to know how you will be able to control the crowd there. Because at the same time, when they are seeking to go there, they seek protection from the police. With 1 million people, you can aggregate that, the number of police that will be able to man that process is very demanding and very difficult. So I think what the police is doing is right, that you want to control crowd management to the airport. And in any event, the NASA leader is going to arrive and he has an opportunity probably to do a rally in any other place that he deems fit in terms of doing it.
Police have gone ahead and said even the rally planned by NASA will not take place because it has a potential to interfere with the ongoing KCSE exams.
Yes, you see the things are happening at a very bad moment because we have exams going on. We have right now, all of us are waiting for the Supreme Court to make the decision. Kenya is anxious to know what really happens. And so the whole issue is that how do we manage these things to a level that we Kenyans are speaking to one another?
So it is an issue of logistics, not
It's
really,
an issue
it
of
is
logistics.
not an illegality.
Yes.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be linking up with our reporter from the JKIA, Stephen Leto. And once he's ready with that report, my director will let me know. I do understand he is ready. A very good morning to you, Stephen. What's happening at the airport in terms of security, in terms of NASA supporters making their way there so far?
Well, a very good morning to you there, Fred Indimuli. Like you've put it, we are right at the JKIA. Where we are now is at the junction that links the airport road and Mombasa Road. And the security check has been brought back to the main road to ensure that all vehicles that are making their way into the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport are screened. Remember, all this is being done in anticipation or ahead of the arrival of NASA Leader Raila Odinga, whose plane touches down at the JKIA at around 11 a.m. a few hours from now. When we got here at about 7:30 a.m. there were already several NASA supporters who had turned up and they were blocked here. But for now, you cannot see any one of them because police have since dispersed them. And what we are told is they have gone all the way down to Cabanas where they are starting to congregate. But as for now, security here, the security check is as tight as you can see there. The police officers manning that entry into JKIA, ensuring that only those who are accessing the airport are, going on travel business and not any other business going to usher in Raila Odinga into the country. But already a few minutes ago, Fred, we have seen the convoy of Raila Odinga complete with its chase cars making their way into the airport ahead of the arrival of Raila Odinga. And also we've seen an advanced team already inside the airport, but we have been denied access of that particular airport, the interior part. Where we have only been allowed to is at this junction where police have mounted their roadblock to ensure that they screen all vehicles and everybody who is heading into the JKIA. And also they have on standby with them on this other side, Fred, those are the water cannons, about two of them, with security officers manning the water cannons, of course, ready for any eventuality should the National Super Alliance supporters make real their threats of staging a march right into the airport, pick Raila Odinga and march back, hold a procession all the way to Uhuru Park where they are supposed to be holding their final rally. And so those are the pictures that are coming to you. Those are police officers are fine-tuning the water cannon in readiness for the National Super Alliance supporters who could be making their way into this particular point. But for now, Fred, security remains tight, and the supporters who had showed up in this particular area have been repulsed. But what we understand is they are going through some mobilization from the National Super Alliance leaders. Remember, yesterday they were here in inspecting the airport, saying that even when the Inspector General of Police say that this was a no-go zone and it is a protected area, they are going to come with their supporters and usher in Raila Odinga, who is jetting in shortly from Germany. And so that is the state of things. The screening, Freddie, is ongoing. As you can see, vehicles that are suspicious of carrying some supporters into the airport are being stopped, and the passengers are told to alight, and screening is done. And also one interesting thing at the checkpoint, at the official checkpoint of JKIA, we are seeing anybody who is accessing that is required to carry a boarding pass or or a job card, or even a national identification card. And so those are some of that is the situation here at the JKIA, where the security officers are manning. For instance, buses are the one that are on priority in the police list, saying that the NASA leaders could be using buses to ferry their supporters into the airport, and with little short time you will be seeing several supporters already inside the airport. So it is still remains a wait and see situation, Freddy, to see how the National Super Alliance supporters will come and go beyond this particular point where the police have barricaded. To my observation is there could be a change of plans. The National Super Alliance could be forced to have a change of plans, and what they will have to do is their supporters to congregate until this point, Freddy, and then wait for Raila Odinga to come out of the airport before they receive him at this particular point, then go all the way to Uhuru Park where they are scheduled to have their rally. But for now, a clash is looming between the supporters of the NASA, the National Super Alliance, as well as the security agencies. Remember, these points have been blocked. And what we are also told, Freddy, is when you stretch all the way to Cabanas, some supporters have started gathering along the road just to ensure, even if they will not be given access of the airport, they are all going to, join the procession all the way to Uhuru Park. And so, Fred, for now, we'll take this back to you, but we are keeping a close eye to see how that looming clash will be contained, and whether the police officers will bow down to the National Super Alliance supporters who are keen to having entry into the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Like I told you earlier, Freddy, Raila Odinga's plane will touch down at 11 a.m. if the boarding time and the takeoff time from Germany remains constant as it was scheduled. But for now, Freddy, we are still keeping an eye, but traffic is flowing well on the other side of the road, but the road at the junction that leads into the airport is a traffic snarl up, as police make sure they screen each and every vehicle that makes its way into the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And so, Freddy, as and when action kicks off here, we will be here to keep you up to speed. And of course, we are stationed in several stations at this particular road, that is Mombasa Road. We are at the Cabanas, at the Jogo Road, as well as at the Nyayo roundabout, and of course inside the Uhuru Park grounds, where the National Super Alliance principals will be converging and delivering a message to their supporters. For now, Freddy, it's a wait and see.
Thank you, Stephen Latour, there live at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, actually outside the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Even the media has not been allowed to access the airport. Of course, police erecting a roadblock there to try and stop NASA supporters from gaining entry to the airport. For this grand reception for NASA leader Raila Odinga, his plane is expected to touch down at 11 a.m. this morning. We wait to see what will happen as crowds gather there, according to Latour, at City Cabanas, which is just a few kilometers from JKIA. We continue also following